Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to Small Talk. Just a quick stock market update. Sorry, I couldn't record a video on stock market because I was very preoccupied with this India-Pakistan war, and I have been recording video on those. But this morning we had CPI release, and surprisingly, the CPI month-over-month CPI rose by 0.2%, which was lighter than expected by the Wall Street, and they had expectation of 0.3%. The main area of CPI inflation was caused in the housing market, and we all know why, because the interest rates have been so high. And the housing market, people are stuck inside their homes. They cannot sell their house and buy a new one because they had interest rates of 2%, 2.5%, and now the interest rate being between 6 and 7%, or in some cases 8%, they obviously cannot afford to sell and move out of their existing home and buy a new one. So therefore, housing market has been struggling. But overall, I think the inflation has been reducing, and I'm just hoping that maybe Jerome Powell will get some sense and he will start lowering the rates. I know he has said in his last meeting that he is very data dependent, and the data could go either direction, and he is in no rush to cut rates. That's what he did last time, and he put us behind economically, and I think he's making the same mistake again. Trump has been asking him to lower rates, but he's been very stubborn and stern, and he did not lower the rates where everybody else was expecting some rate cut in June, which didn't happen. So maybe in July they will start doing some rate cuts. The next thing I want to talk about Tesla. Tesla has not been talking about their car manufacturing at all. Tesla has been mostly talking about other parts of their business. Obviously, it's an AI company at this point. They have been, and then after President Trump had meeting with China, and the tariff talks have been taking place yesterday. I know President Trump had lowered its tariff from 145% down to, I think, cumulative of 30%. I think it was 10% base and then 20% whatever else is called. I forgot the term. So it's like 30% altogether. And as a result, China had agreed to impose, I think, 10% on US. But for next 90 days, US President Trump had paused tariff on China, which gave stock market a boost. And Tesla has been running since there was some positive news on China and US tariffs. We've been closing deals with multiple countries. I know President Trump was visiting Saudi Arabia today, and they wanted to talk about trade agreements. I know Saudi government has agreed to, I think, invest $100 billion in the US, which was a positive sign. And stock market has been rallying today, especially Tesla ran up, I think, 7%. Uber has been running, but Uber has so many other good news because they are merging with so many companies. They are taking over some companies, and they have very strong client base in general. Their app is widely used across the globe. They're also working on robo-taxis or non-driver FSDs as their fleet. They've been also working with some like Serve and those companies for their Uber Eats deliveries, etc. So they have so much going on in their pipeline, and it makes sense for Uber to run. It also makes sense for Tesla to run at this point because they have their robotaxi coming, which initially Elon Musk had announced that it'll be as early as June, but I knew that that's not going to happen. That was a very short, tight target, and Elon Musk always do this. He always over promises, but then his promises are never met. I mean, they are met, but they're 2-3 months later. So now I've heard that it's going to be probably in early fall. Bitcoin has been rising, and as I recorded in my last video, after tariffs news and all this drama took place, people started investing into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has been going up, and my price target is that it will go to at least $110,000 before it drops again, and then it will have the second run all the way to $275,000, most likely by the end of this year. Let's see which direction it goes and who's right. I was also listening to somebody, and they were saying, oh well, we have recession coming. I don't understand where people get this idea from. Recession has already been lived through. We have been in recession in past 2 years, and we have already lived through recession. There is no more recession, and our data shows this. Our job report was pretty good if you look at the CPI report this morning, it was pretty good. All these things indicate that there is no recession coming. In fact, these are all bullish, bull flags for the stock market, for the economy in general, and all these tariff talks are also going to help the economy. We are going to have a better relationship at an international level. All the countries are coming forward, and Donald Trump is also showing some flexibility towards other countries and in negotiating tariff deals. So we have been doing pretty well overall. Palantir has been going bananas. My God, Nvidia is kind of stuck a little bit. It's not moving much, but I think it's a good buy. The dip up, it's a good opportunity to buy. It's really not dip, but sure, it's dip compared to the all-time high. Palantir, man, 77 to today, I think $130 in a span of just 25 days. That's crazy run. Taiwan Semiconductor running, Uber running, Bitcoin running. Cryptocurrencies are doing well overall, and every company that has associated their name with crypto has been running as well. So I'm pretty bullish on the stock markets. I've always been bullish. These temporary short-term hiccups are always a good point to buy the dip. As I have been saying, sorry, I can't make too many videos because I have a very busy schedule. This is just, but today I had to do it because of the CPI report, and it came out very good. So I think this week and next week, market is going to rally. But I would still say, if you are happy with the profits, don't. It's always a good idea to take some profit and take it off the table, because there will always be a dip that you can buy again. So Tesla, I think the next stop is going to be $365 range. That's where I think it's going to run up to, but ultimately my target price for Tesla is $500, maybe more towards the end of the year. Let's say if my prediction comes true this time, and that's given that everything stays the same and there's nothing drastic happens. So of course it's a stock market. It just poops on every little news, and it just runs on every little news as well. So we'll see which direction it goes. But given the situation, the announcement that they've made, the tariff talks that Trump is having with China, because that was impacting Tesla a lot, I think Tesla is going to go to $500 towards the end of the year. That's my thought on the stock market. I'm pretty bullish. I'm still holding my Tesla. I was investing some money for my sister. I think I want to take some off the table if it hits $400 for her, because she has to buy a house and she needs money. So I'm going to give her her profit. I also stole some money from my husband and I invested that. I'm also going to sell that at 400 and put his money back into his account with his profit. But I will definitely hold my shares, because I think it's going to run to $500. Bitcoin, I couldn't get my hands on it because I was hoping that it will fall down to $67,000 range. And for my bad luck, it started going up after 77,000, which is okay, because I don't want to rush into an asset which is very expensive and then I have to take $10,000-$20,000 loss just quickly if it dropped. My husband owns some Nvidia. I don't think he has any Palantir. Uber, we own lots of share of Uber because my husband worked for Uber Technologies, and obviously he was given a large equity, and it makes me happy and makes him happy if we see that Uber has hit all-time high today, almost $92. So we're very optimistic on Tesla, Uber, all these high-tech companies. Some of the AI companies are doing very well, but still AI is still at very initial stages. So most of the AI companies are going to fail anyway, just like the autonomous car companies have failed. But you guys can definitely cash in the momentum while it lasts. So nothing wrong with trading them, day trade them or swing trade them and make some money off of it, because right now that's the hottest stock that you can buy. So going forward, what's my plan? As I said, we're holding Uber, we're holding Tesla. I am holding, I don't have a Bitcoin, but if you do have it, not a personalized financial advice, I think it has a very well chance of going up to $110,000. And at that point, it's okay to sell and take some profit if you want to. Also, I'm going to sell Tesla, some of the shares which are not mine. I'm holding it for my sister. I will sell those at $400 level if and when it reaches that. I think the next stop for Tesla is a little over $360. So that's my update. Please give my video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Until next one, take care, be safe out there, and make some money.